Christopher Reeve was Hollywood's ultimate Superman, wasn't he? And a new movie. It's set to reveal the hero he was off-screen as well after that terrible horse-riding accident left him paralysed. Well, Christopher Reeve's 3 children, Will, Alexandra and Matt Reeve, join me now. It's so good to see you all.
You as well.
And you've done your dad absolutely done him proud with this.
Yeah.
But it's not, you know, well, it's not like a, you know, it's warts and all. We get to know the man.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody's very complex.
Yes.
And we get to know him, especially. It was so good to see all the home footage.
That was a treat for us, too. There's so many moments that we all remember, but maybe hadn't revisited or hadn't even ever seen, because who goes back and watches their home movies,
And you were
right?
so young when the
I was
accident
so young.
happened.
But what a gift to have all this.
Oh, to have all of it. And what an incredible man he was. He was amazing. But Alexandra, Superman, a lot of people said, I didn't know when I was watching the documentary, that fellow actors were like, oh, I wouldn't do that if I was you. Yeah. Oh, I don't think so. But he was so good in the film.
They were worried about him being typecast.
I know.
And, you know, I mean, what's interesting is that he'd been a classically trained actor. He went to Juilliard, which is the most celebrated drama school in the United States, was classically trained, had been in theatre with Katharine Hepburn, and then suddenly he's taking this role. And so there were people who said, you know, be careful with how it goes. But, of course, it changed the entire trajectory of his life and ours, too.
And in so many ways, on screen and off, because, you know, again, it was so lovely to see him, Matt, as Superman, but also the effect that he had, especially on young kids. Yeah. You know, he was just this, wow. You see the little faces like that.
I was one of them. As were all my friends at school. Everyone knew what my dad did for work. But, you know, at home, he was just dad.
Of course he was. Very sporty, obviously. And that was one of the things. I mean, the accident was... It was such a freak accident, wasn't it, Will? It was one of those things you think, oh, no, if only.
Right. Yeah,
You know,
I mean, things could have gone either way. And it's just the way that they worked out is the way they worked out. But I think that that's something that he probably thought about a lot, and I can only imagine what that would do to someone's psyche. But he kept moving forward and realized this is what has happened to me, and there's nothing I can do to change the past, so I have to look to the future.
See, I think that's incredible. I'm sure he had his down moments. Of course he did.
Yes,
you know, of course he did.
Anyone would.
Of course they would. You know, especially he's Superman, and now... He's in a wheelchair, and it's
irony
like
there for sure.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Of course, your mum said something to him though that kind of turned the corner, didn't it?
Yes, you're still you, and I love you.
There you are.
Which is all that, and that was in the most dire of circumstances post-accident for him. But that applies to anybody's life. The people who love us see us for who we are inside, and that can sustain us. And I think that's it. That is what sustained our dad, knowing that he had this relationship to live for. He had his 3 children to live for. He had himself to live for. He ultimately found out that there was so much more that he had to accomplish, and he did that.
Yeah, in many ways, I suppose, Alexandra, after the accident, you know, that was the strength of the man, that he was able to take something so awful and make something incredibly positive, because he inspired so many people. And also little kids who, you know, who had the same condition, would look at him and say, actually, it's okay. You know, there is life after this.
That's right. And I think for so many people, I mean, he felt like a friend or a member of the family.
Yeah.
And so suddenly seeing him go through this life-changing event, but still staying strong, staying connected with his family, going back to the craft that he loved, acting and directing and using his voice to be a force for good, people felt like they were on the journey with him and connected with him in such a powerful way.
It's all of those moments, isn't it, Matt? That moment when he comes out in the Oscars.
Yeah.
And the whole... I mean, this is all the great and the good, the A-listers, all the rest of it. All on their feet. Just all on their feet. And what an amazing speech that was.
It was. And I remember that night very well. We stayed up way past our bedtime.
Right,
it was a school
exactly.
night. And, yeah, it's one of my proudest moments of it.
Oh, it was incredible. That, to me, is where it all kind of started, in a way. I know he'd been working really hard before that with the foundation and everything, but it just seemed that it took it up a level.
It was his first time in public after the accident, so it was a really important moment for him.
And as well as the family, of course, he had really good friends. I didn't realise just how good a friend Robin Williams was.
Yeah.
He was amazing. Yeah. You know, he really was. I mean, he showed up. And they were pals from a way back, weren't they?
From far before they were famous. They were acting in the same acting programme at Juilliard together. They came up, they hit stardom at the same time, went on that crazy journey together. Yeah. But what's lovely about that friendship is that it wasn't about being in the public eye. It was, just as you said, it was about showing up. And it's so easy when a friend goes through something, you know, having a trauma, you sometimes don't know what to say, so you pull back and you kind of say, oh, they're busy, I don't want to get involved, or I don't want to interrupt. And Robin and his wife, Marcia, just leaned in such an incredible way, showing up at the hospital, but also, you know, staying all the way through, just being there for us the whole time.
Of course, and that's the tough thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's showing up and being a really good friend, and what an amazing friend he was. The very fact they had a birthday party for you.
I know.
When you were, what, 3?
Dad was injured about 11 days before my 3rd birthday, so he was still in the intensive care unit by the time my 3rd birthday rolled around. And despite all the madness and terror of the situation, my mom was able to put together a 3rd birthday party for me, replete with a clown to entertain.
It's quite a scary clown.
Hospital gloves as balloons.
Yeah,
I mean, this is real DIY stuff here.
Gloves. But that was just what our family did, and that's what I grew up being used to, was celebrating each other no matter what was swirling around in life. We had to show each other how much we cared for and loved one another.
Yeah, Yuri's double.
I think they are. Right?
Well, you can see them in all of you. You can see them in absolutely all of you. You can. Yeah. Matt, what do you want people to take away from this when they watch?
So you know, there's a line in the documentary where Dad talks about, you know, you play the hand you're dealt, and we're all dealt bad hands every once in a while. But he thought the game was worthwhile and it was worth playing. So I hope people start to think about what makes the game worthwhile to them. Who are those people? What are those things that would sustain them in really difficult times?
That is, well, that's perfect. And he would have heartily approved. Taken away from us far too soon. He'd still so much to do, didn't he?
Yeah.
He'd so much to do. But a remarkable man, a Superman.
Yeah,
thank you so much. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for doing the documentary. And Superman, the Christopher Reeve story, is in cinemas on the 1st of November and is a must-watch. You will actually... I found it really uplifting, actually. I didn't expect to.
It's a story of hope.
Do you know what I mean? It's a story of hope. That's exactly what it is. Thank you so much.
Thank you.